Hi everyone, welcome back to Three Kids in a Home. I am Tiffany and today I am giving my home a refresh for the spring and summer season. I'm so excited that it's finally consistently warm and we have entered into the end of the spring season. Y'all know I do not like cold weather. I am a warm weather girl. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. But first we're going to get into the video verse of the day. So today's verse is another one of my favorites, and that comes from Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31, the New King James Version, and it reads, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." When I tell y'all this verse stays on repeat in my life, I need a daily constant reminder of this, especially in the season that I am in now as a mom, a working mom of 3 children. I have a husband to take care of, my children to take care of. I have to make sure that my physical, mental, and spiritual health is straight. Y'all, sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, but this verse, along with just making sure that I practice my self-care measures, it just gets me through anything that I might be facing, and I can just take a breather through it and just keep on pushing. So I'm starting in my entryway. It's always the first thing I start with since that's what you see when you first come in. It makes the first impression. So y'all know I do shop my home first. So this picture, y'all have seen this before. I'm just going to be adding this in for a seasonal pop of spring. And then y'all, that cute little bird I found at Walmart, and I was like, it is so representative of spring and summer that I couldn't leave it. And then I'm just going to be adding this vase with some yellow in it to represent spring. And then this clock I also found at Walmart. I believe it's part of the Beautiful collection, but I just thought it would make a perfect little accessory piece on this shelf. And then I'm just going to be adding in this diffuser because I just love for my home to just smell good when I walk through the door, and this just gives that perfect little scent without being too overwhelming. It's just a soft little scent. So I've been looking for a tree to put in this color. I did have one in here, but I decided to move it to another space, and I wanted something that was not so much of a bright green but more of a natural muted green. And so I did find this 6-foot tree on Amazon. I was a little bit nervous about ordering it because I wasn't sure how it was going to look or if it was going to be full, but it actually turned out really nice. You're going to see in just a little bit. So it was packaged really neat, as you see, and it really just came with 3 branches that you just stuck right into the branches that were attached to the planter. And then that was it. It was just a matter of just fluffing everything out. And I did get 2 of those. It's actually cheaper if you buy multiples, because you can buy 1, but if you buy 2, it's actually cheaper than if you buy 2 separately, like they come in a set of 2. So you'll see me here, I'm just putting it together and then I'm gonna fluff it out. I did end up sticking it in that corner, but for the planter I ended up adding rocks to it just because I didn't like the green moss that it came with. It did look a little bit fake, so I just wanted to add something that would make it look a little bit more rich. And you can bend those branches however you need to. Because it was going in a corner, I wasn't so much worried about the back, and I didn't want to have the branches sticking out so far that it'll hit you in the face when it comes out. So I kind of have it more in a narrow upright position here. I did end up adding a second tree that is exactly the same to this corner in my dining room. I just thought that the greenery would really liven this room up a bit. And I also ended up adding another tree of a different kind to the other corner of the room that you'll see a little bit later. For this space, I do plan on getting a new dining room table in the future, but for now we will leave it as is. Alright, so a quick shout out to Mrs. Awesome Curtains for sponsoring this part of the video. They hooked me up with some beautiful custom curtains for the dining room, and they really lived up to their name. There's so many options to choose from: colors, fabrics, liners, pleat options. You can really make it your own. And they make the whole process super easy. I was a little nervous about getting the measurements right, but they include really clear step-by-step guides for pretty much every kind of window situation. So the color I ended up going with was the linen color with a bamboo texture and pinch pleat style. I did get these unlined. I think that's my only regret. I do kind of wish I would have gotten them lined, but I'm so used to having the sheer curtains in here that I enjoy that look so much. But if I had to do it again, I would get them lined. I feel like that would really upgrade the look of this room that much more, especially with that pinch pleat header. For the pinch pleat look, the curtains did come with these hooks that I'm just going to slide right into the inserts of the curtains. And then I did find some curtain rings on Amazon that I'm going to be attaching these to place on my rod. So for our curtains, I did order them so that they sit just above the ground, but you can tailor them to get the desired look that you want. So if you would prefer a shorter look, you can get it that way, as well as if you prefer them to puddle on the ground, they provide measuring instructions for that look also. This is my first time using pinch pleated curtains. I've seen the look around and I thought that it looks nice, but I've always just used grommet panels in this space. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to try something different. So I went on ahead and I'm just using the steamer to go ahead and get any existing wrinkles out, as well as I really want to make sure that those folds set in to create the perfect look. I did let the curtains settle in for a few days before I did anything else to the room. I just wanted to look at it in different lights at different times of the day to really get a feel for it. And this is what it looks like, you all. I really do enjoy the look of this space. I ended up hanging something on that wall that you'll see later that really just brought everything together. So if you do want to go and check Mrs. Awesome out, they are offering a 12% discount to my wonderful viewers using the code JM2Y. I'm going to leave everything down in the description below. Thank you again, Mrs. Awesome, for sponsoring this portion of today's video. For the dining room table, I do like to keep it casual in here during the warmer months, so I'm keeping it simple by adding in this white table runner that I picked up from Walmart. I'm also adding in this beautiful floral garland. It just has these little wisps of white florals on it. And then for the centerpiece, I'm just going to be adding in different sizes of candle pillars to add a more elevated look to this space. All of these candles are battery operated, so it would create a nice ambiance in here in the evening time. I'm livening this up a little bit just by adding pops of yellow floral that I already had on hand throughout. Yellow is the color that I'm using throughout my home this year. It's typically a color that I'm drawn to anyway. Every single year I will always add yellow somewhere in the spring and summer. Yellow is such a mood elevator, especially after being cooped up in the house for the winter so long. It just reminds you of rebirth, growth, the sun, and just everything being made new again. Moving on to our family room, I'm going to start by styling the bookshelf that's on our back wall. I got this bookshelf last year. I ordered it off of Walmart.com. It is from the Beautiful Collection by Drew Barrymore, and I have really been enjoying it in this space. It fits seamlessly into our room, and I've enjoyed just styling it throughout the seasons. I keep the same base layers and then just add different accessories for each season as we go along. I like to start with the top shelf and work my way down. So with the top shelf, I'm just adding in this vase that I've had for a few years. As I said, I do like to shop my home first. I did pick up these daylilies from, I believe I got them from Michael's, and then I'm just going to be adding in some green stems to them. In the past for this unit, I've only kept a vase centered in the top shelf, and I haven't put anything to the right and left, but this year I decided to do an arrangement of 3 on the top shelf. So I wanted to put something on the right, something in the middle, and something in the left. Now y'all know, if you are new to my channel and don't know, I am very minimalistic, especially having kids. I don't like to place a lot of things on the counters. I like to just keep it simple. That way my children are still able to run around and have fun and not worry about knocking things over and breaking things for the most part. So when it comes to styling your shelves, there's not really a right or wrong answer. You can play around with things until you get it just how you like it. For me, I do like to play around with groups, sizes, and shapes of things to make sure that when I'm looking at it both horizontally and vertically, that I'm not looking at the same thing over and over. I kind of like to make sure that things alternate. So if I have something tall on the right, maybe I put something long on the left, or if I have something tall on the top shelf, then maybe right underneath it I put something that's a little shorter or something that's a little longer. That way it just kind of makes it interesting to look at. I told y'all I play around with things that I have on hand all the time. So right now I just took a glass jar and filled it with some decorative rocks that I had on hand. And then I'm just going to add a battery operated candle to it, and that's going to be it for the top shelf. So because I did 3 groups of decor on the top shelf, I decided that I would only do 2 groups going down the shelf, so that way something kind of sits in between each of the groupings that are on the top shelf. So again, I like to play around with different shapes and sizes, so I'm just adding this decorative plate and then just going to add a pop of blue floral here for some more of that added spring color. I already had these books displayed up here, but I'm just playing around with the different end pieces to see how I want it to look. I did go ahead and decide to just use the bookends that I had, but I wanted to add one more book just to kind of fill it out a little bit so it wouldn't look so narrow in this space. For the last 2 shelves, I was indecisive about how I wanted to style them, so you're going to see me arrange them many different ways before I finally settle on the final look for this space. And that's the good thing about when you're in your own home, right? You can set it one way and then get tired of looking at it and then just go and add something a little bit different just to change it up some, and you can just use whatever you have in your home. So you're gonna see me just kind of arranging things, but again, what I'm looking at when I style these shelves is just how do they look with the overall picture. Do I already have something long that's above it? Do I already have something short that's above it? How do I mix it up so that when I'm looking at this, it's visually appealing to my eyes? In the cooler months, the type of vases that I use are usually like brown and muted, and then also I use like a lot of wicker. Well, in the spring and summer months, I like to break back out all of the metals and all of the blues, and so I love this multicolored blue and gold vase on my fireplace. You've seen me use this before. I always just kind of alternate things out around this fireplace. So a lot of people have reached out to me across the various social media platforms, just checking on me and my family to see if we're okay. So thank you all so much for just checking on us. We are doing fine. We have just been moving and shaking lately. I work full time. My husband, he also works a lot. My son does traveling basketball. He also participates in band and just various other activities through his school. And then also our oldest daughter, she performs and plays and has her own activities going on as well. And then just trying to make time for my mental, physical, and spiritual health in the midst of all of that. And it's like something has to kind of fall back when I'm trying to make sure that I'm good in those 3 areas. I do exercise on a daily basis, and when I do that, The only thing that I want to do after I exercise is go to sleep. And because we are moving and shaking so much throughout the day, the only time that I usually have to edit YouTube videos is at night. And when I say at night, I mean up late into the hours night. And I just have not had the energy to be able to do that, especially with me working out and then running around so much. So that's the reason I have not been posting so much. So if you do see me sporadically take a break, that's all that's going on. It's nothing major. It's just that some things have had to fall back so that I can focus on other areas. And sometimes you really just need to do that reset, especially when you have been running so much. Just make sure that you take care of what's important to you in that season of life. And if that means you have to say no to some things or let some things fall back, then that's okay too. So some self-care activities that I have really enjoyed lately are just going to get massages with my friends, working out on a daily basis, and then just doing simple things like going to go and get my nails painted. Just those few things have really helped me be able to focus and reset. Let me know in the comments what are some self-care activities that you really enjoy doing. I found these lemon printed kitchen towels at Kirkland's and I wanted to display them a little differently. So I did find a tutorial for creating a bow with your kitchen towels. And so that is what I am doing. And for this look, I just needed 2 kitchen towels. And then I'm just going to drape that over the front of my stove for a different look. For our kitchen island, I'm just going to be adding in this earth colored vase. I really wanted to add something a little bit more muted against those white cabinets, and then another pop of yellow with the florals, and that pretty much completes the look for my first floor for spring. I hope that you all enjoyed and were able to get some spring decorating motivation of your own. And if you like what you see, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. I would love to have you here. But that is going to be everything for today. I will see you next time. Be blessed.